Ding, ding, ding. We're going to round three. And round three is Elon, at least what this video is about Elon bringing up Epstein. And this is only the beginning. Because the Epstein relationship with Donald Trump goes back to the 1980s, which is a nightmare for Trump. Because Epstein, being back at the 80s, there's a lot of people back then who have lots of information that have not been coming out a lot, and I can guarantee you Elon's going to bring that out. And he doesn't necessarily need the Attorney General and all those people to link the Epstein stuff. There's enough information out there to sink Trump 10 ways from Sunday that people have not been talking about. The most important person in all of this, at least the people that I'm aware of, and you can listen to her name, is Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson's testimony, and you can read it, you can listen to it. It's 30 minutes on YouTube. You'll hear two incidents that take place inside of her video. You really should listen to it. I'll play it at the end of this. She describes two moments with her and Donald Trump. She wore the blonde wig. And the blonde wig made Trump think of her as his daughter. And really liked it while he was having sex with her, thinking that she looked like his daughter. The first time. Second time was when Trump liked having her tied up and then basically did forced sex fantasy on top of her. Yeah. Unprotected. At least that's what she says. And she was nervous that she could have become pregnant. And Trump said, well, you're going to get an abortion. You're lucky it was me, kind of thing. You'll hear about that in her testimony. But that's not the worst. The worst is while he's doing that, Trump is out there talking all the time about his daughter in a sexually inappropriate manner, talking about, like, that he would be dating her and all this other stuff about her breasts and how she was a hot piece of ass, all that sort of stuff. That's all public knowledge. That's all out there. That's what Trump was doing at the time. And that, again, is only the beginning. The bigger issue that will probably Elon will feed is the fact that during the 80s, during this time, this is when Trump is saying that he was a close personal friend of Epstein, that he was his best friend. And Epstein was saying that he was a great friend. And they were complimenting each other. But at that time, Donald Trump was traveling to Russia for a Russia tower, which probably was the beginning of the tower, because that's probably how they developed the relationship with him. Trump also wrote the letter at the time about how the United States should leave NATO, in part supported by Russia, so that Russia was testing how well they had Trump. But the KGB at the time, and what Russia at the time was doing, was these things called honeypots. Honeypots is a intelligence technique of using sex to take the person that they were interested in. And they saw Epstein and Trump. And you got to think, if you're KGB and you're seeing all these powerful people, all these wealthy, well-connected people having sex with underage girls, all of them committing a felony, all of them committing felonies of underage sex, statutory rape, then yeah, they're going to have a lot of problems. Well, they're not going to have problems. They're going to see that as incredible opportunity. At least the KGB does. So as the KGB would want from Trump, by whatever methods possible, is to get a hold of the Epstein tapes, is to record as much of it as possible, to collect it, to gain blackmail opportunities over Donald Trump and over people who are at those parties. And you kind of know the people who were on those lists. That's the people that the KGB would want to have control over. And the best way to have control over somebody is to be able to say, we have a tape of you committing statutory rape. We would like you to do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't, we're going to take the tape of you doing the statutory rape, and we're going to hand it to people. And that's going to be the end of your life. You see, that's the power that that Elon has. That's all public knowledge. But Elon will have something even more important. Elon had some relationships in that area as well, so he probably has more intimate knowledge of that, and with his wealth, probably being able to find more evidence from people who right now are under threat because of all of these tariffs and all of these things that are impacting these people who will be very interested in talking. And these will be some of the blows that will surround the Epstein body blows that Elon will deliver to Trump going forward. And it will get worse because Epstein was only the beginning. You see, Epstein was making a lot of money, and I mean mountains of cash. Of course, if you are literally providing people the ability to have sex with underage girls committing statutory rape, you have blackmail power. And so people are going to pay top dollar to live that dark sexual fantasy. And then they're going to pay top dollar because because Epstein was keeping it quiet. That's the advantage of basically being a person who traffics in underage girls. You have a lot of power over your clients. But then comes a man by the name of Tony Lazzaro. GOP Tony. GOP Tony, if you go over to the Twitter and X, his name is GOP Tony. And he was one of the youth coordinators for 2020 with Donald Trump. This man, you can even look him up. You can look up all the people that he was with while he was engaging in providing sex with underage girls to people. He was probably dealing with Trump because you know why? Trump was a proven buyer of this type of stuff. Trump had a spiritual advisor. Yeah. These are people that Elon will use. He just will. Andrew Tate as well. These are things beyond just simply Epstein that Elon has total access to. You see, GOP Tony is GOP Tony at Twitter. So Elon has access to all of his internal communications of GOP Tony, who is sitting in the Minnesota prison because he was the Minnesota Epstein, who knew all these people. You know why everybody's shutting up on GOP side? Because Elon knows that stuff. Elon's got Andrew Tate, all that information. So he has some tools. The Epstein warning is barely the tip when it comes to the power that Elon has. He has all the internal communications of GOP Tony at Twitter, which is Tony Lazzaro. He has all the stuff when it comes to Andrew Tate. Got all that. Andrew Tate's on his side because Andrew Tate also knows there's a lot of Republicans that are talking crap about him. So he'll be with Elon. Yeah, of course. Elon will use that. Elon was friends with Elon has people that he knows that are connected to Epstein. They'll provide information. He will spend top dollar for that information and start using it. And the reason why he will start using it is because Elon knows one thing. Trump is a ruthless ass psycho. And his Justice Department is not a Justice Department. It is an extension of his retribution. And he knows that that weapon will be used against him. But at the end of the day, his best tool is to use the fact that Elon has control of all the infrastructure that makes up the MAGA base, all the online infrastructure that makes up the MAGA base. Elon owns that now. And Elon will use it to take Trump down. So here we go. This concludes part 1 of the weapons of Elon, at least as I see them, specifically as it deals with the Epstein area. I forgot one other lovely little thing that he also has. He also has a lot of the information when it comes to like the Matt Gaetz situation, and you can research all of that with Matt Gaetz in Florida and the cover-up that occurred over there regarding Matt Gaetz, which I believe was always part of even the Tony Lazzaro situation. So this is coming. It is just here right now. So please like, follow, and subscribe. And again, this concludes part 1 of Elon's weapons. This was just the Epstein sex stuff. The next will deal with impeachment. So please like, subscribe, share. Talk to you soon.